Benefits you're working for now, be there when you need them? Probably not. There's a big problem with pensions, and as Brenda Flanagan shows us, if you don't think you're going to feel the hit in your wallet, think again.
I'm working again just to make ends meet, and that's what we have to do to survive.
Brad Hudson is 67, and after nearly half a century in the airline industry, thought he'd be retired by now, spending his time with his grandkids. But he's still working nearly full-time, getting up at 4:30 a.m. to repair planes for a small freight airline because the pension he was planning to live on has been dramatically slashed.
I worked for 3 or 4 different major carriers, and I wind up with less than $800 a month in pensions after 45 years in the industry. There's no justice in that.
That's less than $200 a week. His daughters worry about him.
Number one issue is his health. I mean, would he have to be on high blood pressure medicine if he didn't have to get up 4:30 in the morning, work 10-hour days at 67 years old?
Now he's 67 years old and he deserves to retire, and him and many other people like him can't do it.
Brad's problem, 2 of the airlines he worked for, Pan Am and United, dumped their retirement plans, turned them over to the federal government. The government now pays the pensions of tens of thousands of workers in the tri-state area alone, but often it's far less than what the workers were originally promised. Brad's situation is stark but not unusual, and it's not just airline workers that are being affected. It could happen to your parents. It could happen to you, even if you're a decade or more away from retirement. What happened? A series of bankruptcies and retirement plan meltdowns have hit the airlines. It's also hurt the auto industry, steel workers, and retailing. Even companies that aren't bankrupt, like Hewlett-Packard, are freezing or terminating their pension plans. The retirement of millions is affected, with millions more left to worry, am I next?
The old-fashioned pension plan, where the fatherly company takes care of you for life, that's just going away.
Jack Otter of Smart Money magazine says the days of a gold watch and steady pension check after 30 years of service are over.
Unfortunately, it's a new world and it's going to be tough. You've made your plans based on the expectation that you'll be getting these checks every month for the rest of your life, and there's a good chance those checks won't be there.
Making matters worse, the government agency that pays at least partial benefits if your pension plan goes bust is more than $25 billion in the red. And some experts see a bailout looming, like the 80s savings and loan scandals, to be paid for by, you guessed it, your tax dollars.
It's a tragedy because we're turning these people into indentured servants.
Representative Gary Ackerman of Queens and a half-dozen other local congressmen are co-sponsoring a bill that would link the retirement pay of executives to the pension plan of their workers.
It's very threatening, it's very serious, and for the people who are involved, because their pension becomes jeopardized, compromised, and evaporates, it's an absolute personal disaster for them and their families.
And consider this. Half of America's pension plans have been lost in the past decade, a number that will only grow, which means, for better or worse, your retirement rests in your own hands.
This is leading us to tens of millions of Americans working longer than they would normally have to in order to support themselves.
Get used to the fact that you're not going to be able to live the kind of lifestyle after you retire than as you did while you were still working for the company.
Bankruptcy laws not only allow companies to skip out on their pension promises, but nearly 80% of companies underfund their pension plans because tax laws give them incentives to do so. For millions, it's a 1-2 punch from business and government that's making retirement look anything but golden. I'm Brenda Flanagan, UPN 9 News.
Coming up next on UPN.